finally we are back on the beach. I've been out a couple of times sort of the last couple of weeks, but things have been a little bit against us, to be honest with you. But tonight things are looking real good. We've got a really good tide. We've got a nice flat sea, which is what the Smoothound's like, because that is what we're targeting. And we've got some good fresh and frozen bait with us, and we are up my favourite bit of beach up North Norfolk. So things are looking good. We've got one rod out there at the moment which has been out, I don't know, a couple of minutes probably, literally just cast it out. Come up here to get the second rig and the spare rig baited, so we'll get that hung up and keep an eye on that tip, because I've got a feeling, after speaking to them guys coming around the corner, they've already been in on the fish, that we might just catch a few tonight, so we'll get it hung up. I've got a bite already, mate. Well, I said we had a good tide tonight and some good conditions, and this rod has barely been out there, I don't know, 5 minutes or something, and we actually spoke to some guys as we came around the corner who'd just had one about £4. I jokingly said to Steve, should we get the camera running for a live bite, and pretty much just as I said it, it's gone away. And he's not too far away. It doesn't feel very big, but I think I might finally have my first fish of 2021. Well, he is hardly a specimen, but what a great start. Fingers crossed there's a few more out there tonight, and a few bigger ones as well, because I've said it before, it's normally with these you're more likely to catch 10 than what you are 1. They sort of tend to hunt in packs, and yeah, action can be pretty fast and furious, but we'll get him back and get another bait in the water. Literally got to clip the spare rig back on, banged it back out there, and I don't know, it's been out probably a couple of minutes again, and I think we've got another fish on here. It's quite a good bite, nice as you expect really with the hounds. I know they can give all manner of different bites, but normally they tend to hit it and sort of be gone. But yeah, there's definitely a bit of weight on here. It's a little bit. We've had a couple of goes the last couple of weeks. It's been really quiet, and we've probably picked the worst night weather-wise tonight. It's just a bit grey and dull, you know. Whereas the last couple of weeks it's been glorious sunshine, and yeah. But perhaps that's, you know, one of the reasons why the fish are here. But this one's not too far away, so we'll get him in. We'll have another one to show you. Well, he is, I don't say, perhaps slightly bigger than that first one, and you'll see there he's actually nabbed him on the second hook of the pennel. So I know I said before, and I know a lot of people need to use single hooks, but yeah, we actually nailed him on the top hook of the pennel there. So that does work sometimes, but crazy, honestly, when they're here, they're here. Well, a busy start to the session, which makes a nice change if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I say things did look really good tonight. I sort of earmarked these tides a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, felt pretty confident. but the condition of the water just looked good. I think there's been a fair bit of sort of mayweed and algae in the water the last few weeks, and whether that just keep the fish off a little bit more in the clearer water further offshore, I don't know, but yeah, it looks spot on. But I'm just gonna get another bait ready. The baits we have got with us tonight is I picked up half a pound of rag here, just as to bulk the crab out really from a good local bait digger, Pete Fairclough. I always like to get my bait off him. I've done for the last few weeks, and yeah, it's always good quality. So I'm just basically threading one worm up, so just to bulk it out really. Pennel hook just nicked through the top of the rag, and then what I have got as well, which fishing up this bit of beach this time of year, you can't go out without the peeler crab. Now these are obviously frozen ones. I think because the year has been a little bit, you know, sort of 1-2 months behind really with how the weather was and stuff like that, we're out of the real good peeling season now. You know, I think it's still the females, the smaller females that are about, but the big run of males is over. I think it's that way round anyway. Someone will probably know or correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, we've just got these frozen crab, which to be honest with you, when the fish are here like they are tonight, they are just as good as fresh, to be honest. As you'll know if you watched our video from last year, you know, pretty much on this exact spot, when all we had was that bag of claws we had with us, you know, we caught perfectly well on them. But one thing I have noticed after not fishing for so long is my bait elastic is in a shocking state. I think it's perished a little bit, so I definitely need to trip to the local tackle shop to sort that out, but we're getting by anyway. So made a little sausage on my bait needle, like you know, you've seen me do this before, but it's just quite a nice easy way of dealing with the crab really. Then just thread it on like a worm, get that little tail off, and there we go. It's quite a nice little neat compact bait all clipped down like that. I've gone with a 6-ounce impact lead tonight. I mean, it's, believe it or not, last week we came, the tide was absolutely hammering through, and it was a lot smaller tide, but it seems to be okay out there tonight. It's holding pretty well, and yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be too long before we can show you another fish. So we'll get this hung up and see what happens. Well, this one just absolutely went slack. It was like someone had just cut the line, and as I said in that previous fish, you do get all sorts of different bites with, and this one's just obviously picked the lead up and he's gone. But it's important you wind like that, pick all the slack up and then connect with the fish, which is exactly what we've done. We've definitely got one on here, and yeah, he was racing his way down tide. He's pulling a bit as well. He's a fair way down there. We have got a good sized tide tonight, and I always like fishing on the big tides. It's not necessarily always the best fishing, but if I was to plan my sessions, it does tend to be, you know, around the full moon or the new moon, which is, yeah, when you get them. But he's now charging back up this way. Honestly, I just absolutely love catching these fish. They've got to be one of the hardest fighting in our waters. Whoa. Right, let's go down and get him. There we go. Well, fish number 3, and yeah, he put up a really good account for himself, he did. Let's say slack line, charge down tide, and then when you get him in close like that, it's always nice, you see your line chasing through the water back up tide. But I think he's probably a little bit bigger than them first two. I always find it so hard to guess the weights on them, you know, depending on how full they are, and how thick they are, but yeah, it's a lovely fish, and it makes up for all them blank sessions. Well, a little bit of a funny bite that time. He didn't really know what he was doing. It sort of had a little pull down and it all sort of gone a little bit slack, but we've got another fish on here and he is charging up and down. It's not very big, I don't think, but it's another fish. Well, I said it was probably the finickiest bite of the night. It's turned out to be, I would say, probably the biggest fish. They've all been a little bit like peas in the pod, but this one's definitely a little bit bigger. I don't know, probably 6 or so pounds, something like that. But he gave a good account for himself when he got in the surf, like they always do. And yeah, it's a fish I just absolutely love catching. They're pretty smart, aren't they? Well, a blank cast, which has not happened yet so far this evening. We've had some sort of bite or a fish pretty much on all of them, but I've sort of done a little talking piece to camera and we've shown you a few fish already, and I've been, well, since we got here we're waiting to put the second rod out, and I've not bothered really because it's been kept busy with this one, you know. But I might just do it now, just as this light is thinking about starting to fade. You know, we're pretty much, well, I think the longest day of the year was a few days ago, so we're gonna have a couple of hours of light left yet, but there's something to think about because the fish won't be here, you know, all of the ebb now. You know, they'll be here for a small window and then they'll probably disappear, and that'll be the lot. So I might get a setting rod out, I don't know yet, but it's just nice to catch some fish, and it's, you know, it's nice to be down here. But we'll get the other rig clipped on. Proper pull back then. I've just gone, I don't know if he's swimming towards me. He sort of slack lined me, and it's a job to then pick it up and get in contact with him again, but we've got him anyway, or her. Again, not been out very long at all. Funny enough, I said to Steve off camera, said I would just leave it running on the rods for 5-10 minutes or whatever, just to see if we can capture a bite. Chatting away behind the camera, and yeah, just see it gone. But he's not too far away now, and I've got to say he's felt smaller as I've got him closer and closer, but we'll see what we got. There we go, another cracking smoothie, no monster, but just brilliant fun, and it's just nice. It's just nice to get a bend in the rod and get amongst a few fish after, you know, what seems like an absolute age. Lovely. That way, buddy. Well, I'm just getting the spare rig baited up, and I say spare because at the moment I've got no rigs baited up. The rod is behind me there, just out of the water, and that needs a fresh bait as well. It's been pretty hectic, to be honest with you, but you know, it's just nice to catch a few fish. Probably, you know, if we weren't filming and you really got your head down, you fish 2 rods and you smash through the bait, you know, yeah, you might catch twice the amount. But you know, just for a session after work in the evening, after not being on the beach for so long, I'm more than happy with how it's gone so far. So there's another bait ready, little bit of crab, little bit of rag, and to get it out then I think what we are going to do is just probably move down, I don't know, 15-20 yards, just a bit close to the water's edge. The tide's well on the way out now. I think high water was about 7:30. I don't know what the time is, but I'm guessing by the light it's probably about 9:30, perhaps even 10 o'clock. So I don't know, we're going to give it a little bit into darkness, I think, perhaps just, you know, just to see if we can get a bigger fish. But yeah, we're going to see what happens. But yeah, so tide's well on the way down, and believe it or not, when we got here, I think I told you last year, where the bit of cliff fell down, it was a little bit hairy, perhaps getting just round that corner. We probably, if we'd have been half hour, an hour late, we wouldn't have got round. But knowing the beach, knowing the tide, knowing we're fishing the ebb, we're going to be yeah, safe to get back round. So yeah, anyway, we'll get it out there, get moved, and yeah, see if we can report back with another fish. Absolutely pooped over, and we're into another nice Smoothound, I think. Well, not as big as I thought, probably one of the smallest ones of the evening, but the best bite. We'll get back. Well, let's get another bait ready, get this spare rig baited back up, a little bit of rag again and a bit of that frozen crab, and yeah, that's certainly worked fine tonight. But we'll just move down a little bit closer to the water's edge. It just makes everything a little bit easier, like landing fish and stuff like that, because the tide has absolutely raced out now. The ebb is just, yeah, taken off, and can be a little bit strange fishing for Smoothound because the fishing can flick on and off like a switch, you know, and it might be that we had a real busy 2-3 hours, and all of a sudden they've gone. They've been in, smashed up all the crab, all the food out there, and then they'll be gone. But I've got my fingers crossed, I might be able to show you one more before we do sign off. But it's pretty much, as you can see, pretty much dark now. So we've got the camera light with us just to shed some light on the subject, and yeah, I don't know how much longer we're going to give it. But whatever happens, we had a nice evening, nice way to spend a few hours after work, and nice to get back amongst the fish. Well, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to sign off with a fish. We're going to call this one the last chuck, but it's been a thoroughly enjoyable night. And as I've probably said about 3 or 4 times, nice just to get back down here and catch a few fish. But as I said, it can be, you know, Smoothound fishing, like flicking a switch. And unfortunately for us, well, and for you watching, the switch has been well and truly turned off and the fish are gone. Sort of 3 or 4 chucks now without anything, and we're starting to get a little bit of this as well, which is never a good sign. You know, I never like fishing when there's a bit of weed about. But yeah, all that's left to say really is if you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Obviously subscribe to the channel for more regular videos, but as always, thanks for watching, be lucky, and we'll see you again on the next one.